Thank you so much for being here. Always a pleasure to be here. What I want to talk to you is about our fescue grassland. I want to talk about the last 20 years we spent reclaiming fescue grassland in southern Alberta. In the last 20 years, we spent so much time in the foothills area trying to reclaim fescue grassland. You all know the challenges of reclaiming fescue, but once it's disturbed, it's very hard to reclaim. You are fighting like invasive species, non-native forages, and so on. And with lack of seeds and so on, it's very difficult to reclaim. So what do we do about it? So what I want to do, talk about what we have done so far in this area, from south of Longview to all the way to Cardston, talking about some of the background work we did and what kind of results we obtained and how we move forward. We started in south of Longview with trying to reclaim some of the sites after like you have oil and gas or pipeline. And of course, one of the major challenges is with establishment of non-native forages, because much of that area were homestead, and also like we have sites, road ditches and so on were seeded to non-native forages. Of course, with time, you got to spread and spread and spread into the native fescue grassland. And the greatest challenge is not about reseeding them. We have very good success at some sites, but each site, what we found out is pretty well unique. It has its own challenges. And what pretty well dictates your success is how that site has been managed throughout the years. And so what you see in this one, no matter how well we try to get fescue established, you have an uphill battle in terms of trying to get rid of the Timothy. Like it's almost like a losing battle, and what I found out this morning from one of my dear friend, Chris Chataway, that he found even like mice collecting Timothy seeds and stockpiling for winter. We move it across where it's nice, warm, we got like, nice habitat over winter, and all the seeds are there. And of course, when you get rain and snow melting, your seeds keep moving further away. So it's not only livestock or wildlife, you got also rodents or other factors beyond your control. So it's an uphill battle. But how you manage your site has very well to do with the success. We try to understand very well, what are the soil characteristics on the undisturbed, the forage area where you have Timothy and brome growing, like what's making them growing so well. We look at the test site and so on. So we do all kind of soil texture, soil type of work. Is there something different in terms of how the soil was taken away, put back, and then influencing the vegetation success? And it's very hard to find any of those factors give a lead indicator what you should be doing in order to establish fescue. And we also look at some of the microflora diversity or microfauna diversity, looking at the bacteria, the fungi, which include mycorrhizae, the nutrient content, is very clear indicator as if a site has more bacteria or less bacteria, does not favor one particular species. And again, it's very hard to make good conclusions in terms of what influence fescue recovery. I have reports on all of that. If any of you want the reports, I'll email it to you. So then we got a site at Del Bonita, which is a cultivated barley field, and that was surrounded by fescue grassland. And I thought, what a perfect idea to learn again, can we establish fescue? So we did site characteristics. This is just like the site description. We have 3 reps. We got wild harvesting, natural recovery, and different seed mix and plugs, different fescue plugs, foams, and so on. This is the seed mix we use. Again, we talk about seed mix percent. It's not we look at the germination. Also, we go by the pure live seeds. Because when you look at seed mix, like 2% of June grass, for example, is not the same as 2% of wheatgrass, because that's why the 1,000 kernel weight is very important to factor that into your seeding rate. So this is one of the sites we're seeding in Del Bonita in 2012, looking at, again, time of seeding, spring planting versus fall planting, which is the best time to plant seeds, and also looking at different vegetation cover in order to influence faster recovery. This one was a fall planting. Again, in the fall planting, the challenge that you want a good plug, you want it to be well moist when you put it in the ground so there's a moisture to overwinter. But the challenge that we found, when you put it in the fall, because of the location, the site dictates your success in terms of management practice, in terms of time of planting, because the plugs hasn't put up any roots yet, so when you have freeze fall coming, and the plugs tend to pop out of the ground. And of course, that affects your winter survival. And what we see, there's a clear difference between when you establish a site, between the spring and fall, and of course we have much better success in the spring. And again, the reason I said that, because when we plant in the fall, we have lots of winter kill, and one thing maybe because of the site conditions, where it gets warm, you have a warm spell, the plugs got pop up, and then we cannot adapt, we get shocked. So your site has very well to do, the weather conditions has much to do with what kind of success you get. This one we look at the importance of plant group, and again, the green one are the grass seed we seeded, and again, look at the seed by itself, the seed mix, the seed and plug, and so on. Although you see some difference, but it's not really significant in terms of what you see. Because again, depending on how a site is managed, what is in the surrounding area, you have lots of infill coming in. So that's why you see lots of, there is some difference, but not really significant in terms of importance by plant group. We look at soils cover the same way. This is the amount of soils cover within a quadrat covered by vegetation. Again, the same trend follow. And this is the plugs in the spring, in the summer of last year. You see the plugs, of course, when you put them, those that have good establishment, you see seed heading way earlier compared to seed, because the seed come from, takes longer time to go from seed to flowering to put seeds. But at least with the plugs, you get by the second year, you get everything blooming already. And of course, that's very important because it produces seeds which contribute to the next generation, to the next establishment. And the major, again, if it's not timothy, it's not crested wheat, it's not brome grass, it's something else. In this side, guess what we have? Cheatgrass. There was none at the side, it was beautiful. Next year, cheatgrass occurred, we pull a few bags, we take it away. This year, we got 12 bags of cheatgrass we pulled away. And most tend to aggregate in all around where there's been lots of traffic going on, either by people or by whatever, or by vehicles. So we got lots of cheatgrass again. So we went there, we tried to mow it, but I would not be surprised if there will be more cheatgrass in the next year. And the conclusion, we have very good establishment from both 2012 establishment, plugs and seed mix. Fescue forbs and so on, we had diversity, we had the structure, we created value for wildlife from small birds, nesting birds and so on, very important. And based on your options, whether you use seeds alone, seed and plug and so on, that will be your choice, your option, but all of them are good indication in terms of what drives your success. And again, I talk about that, even after you use that in a couple of years, if the plants are able to produce seeds, you will have good plant establishment, good cover values. But one more thing again, just to go back in 3 years' time or 5 years' time just to monitor is not good. You need to have a weed management plan, you need to manage that site properly, because like in this case, we have cheatgrass coming in, what do you do? If you go down 5 years, you do monitor, you find cheatgrass to be more, but if you don't have a plan how to manage it, guess what? Of course, it will get worse. Despite we talk about trajectory, ecological recovery, you need to have that plan to constantly mow it or pull it out or whatever to ensure that proper path. With that, I'm right on time. Thank you so much.